Hi guys, welcome to Nelson UAV. I'm your pilot and host Ryan. This is our second episode of our History in Flight series, where we give you some drone footage of a local landmark and an abridged history and commentary. In this episode, we will be flying the famous abandoned zoo, the Catskill Game Farm. Before we get airborne, a quick disclaimer. This footage was shot on private property with permission of the landowner. Please be advised that if you wish to visit the game farm, I will explain how to legally do so by the end of the video. Now, let's get off the ground. So here we are at the ticket booth and main entrance to the Catskill Game Farm. We're going to get up in the air a little bit and head on down the main road. Coming into view near the entryway is what was the Aoudad enclosure. In the bottom right of the screen, you'll just get glimpses of the old art gallery. Coming up ahead is the old refreshment stand and the old giraffe house on the left. After 15 years of being a defunct zoo, there's quite a bit of overgrowth on most of the abandoned structures, so a lot of our footage today is going to be at low altitude. Meet Sean Johnson, all-around great guy and director of security for the old game farm. We'll see more of Sean later on. As we head back up towards the main gate at low altitude, I'm going to give you a couple little factoids about the park. It was opened in 1933 and was the first privately owned zoo in America and later became the largest. It housed over 2,000 animals and was open for 73 years with tens of millions of visitors. Sadly, the park closed its doors in 2006, citing financial troubles. As we head back past the refreshment stand where we met Sean, you'll see the photo bar on the right and the giraffe enclosure on the left. We keep heading down the main road here. As we make our way towards the second major intersection within the park, you'll notice an old set of restrooms on the right and a defunct souvenir shop on the left. Taking a left turn at that intersection brings us up towards the recreation and amusement section of the park. As the drone begins to pan left, you'll notice the enclosure where bear cubs used to reside. As we come down around the bend, we'll be coming up alongside this swan pond. The pond is looking a little bit more like a swamp these days, but it's still there. We've now entered the amusement park section of the Catskill Game Farm. Here's the refreshment stand. As we get up in the air a little ways, you'll see some spots where some little rides and activities used to be. The old custard stand. I'm not sure exactly what this is. If anyone knows, please leave it in the comments. Here we have the crocodilian enclosure and also the locker building. What remains of the mini golf course? I don't think anybody will be teeing off anytime soon. At the bottom of the hill we find a Kodak film stand and the rabbit pen. Now we're going to head back to where we split off to go check out the cub enclosure, and we're going to take a right instead. Now this section of the park was dedicated to animal rides and shows. You used to be able to go for a little elephant ride right here, back when I was a kid. Headed back down, we're going to go down the pathways a little and get down here by the old tram station. Here you used to be able to buy your tickets and wait for the trolley to come and tag along and go for a little ride around the white-tailed deer enclosure. Continuing to follow the old trolley path, we come along the rare mountain goats and sheep section. Heading back around now into the bird gardens. It seems like a good time for another fact. The zoo spans more than 914 acres, and only 136 of those acres were actually available to the public as the park. The rest of the land was used to breed, feed, and shelter the animals. Coming up now on the old cafeteria. This enclosure used to house kangaroos and emus. We're headed down now into the old wild cattle exhibit. This used to house porcupines. I'm not sure what this structure is. If anyone's aware, please put it in the comments below. Boy, you would really not want to fall in there. Here we get a beautiful view of the wild horses exhibit, which is only accessible to the staff or by the air. This now empty parking lot used to have hundreds of cars in it a day during the summer. And here we get a nice shot of what used to be the old granary. This is where they would store food for thousands of herbivores. Headed back now towards the main road, we get a beautiful view of Round Top Mountain as we dive deeper and deeper into the park. On the left, we'll see a rain shelter. As we come into this clearing, we'll find several enclosures that used to be home to big cats. Making our way now to the African section. As we make our way through the African section, you will notice many large moats that were used to separate rhinoceros and other large animals from the onlooking tourists. Coming under the drone now is what used to be the old rhinoceros house. Remember Sean? Well, he's down here to give me a nice little tour of the inside of the rhinoceros house. Getting the drone inside this building for this shot was some of the trickiest flying I've ever done. But here is where all the rhinoceros would have been kept, fed, and given medical treatment when necessary. LOL. Anyone who was in the class in 1999 and survived Y2K, please leave a comment below. We are now headed into the veterinary office portion of the rhinoceros house. Following this spiral staircase down to the subfloor would lead you to where the rhinoceros would have been sheltered during winter months. Speaking of winter, the park was said to have nearly 1,000 employees during the off-season, and have nearly 3,000 employees during the summer season when there was many tourists. Moving on from the rhinoceros house, other enclosures within the African section housed animals such as antelope and cheetahs. The park was known for having a variety of exotic animals such as lions, rhinos, elephants, giraffe, and kangaroo. We're headed back further now towards the animal nursery. At this end of the park, we find another Kodak film hut and a small children's play area. As we pass through this gate, we now enter a part of the property that only staff and the animals would be likely to see. I can't say for certain, but I imagine this outbuilding was used as a nursery for infant animals. Heading back now through the play area, we get a nice view of the last remaining trolley station left standing on the property. As we near the end of this trip through the past, you might be asking yourself what's in store for the old Catskill Game Farm. To answer your question, the current owner has 4 serene camping sites on the property which are booked through Tenter. On top of being a glamorous camping site, the old game farm still appears to be a fully functioning animal farm. In my time here, I've seen cows, fowl, and goats. For those looking for more luxurious accommodations when visiting to relive their childhood nostalgia, the property offers a boutique hotel experience in what used to be the old Giraffe House. This was renovated in 2012 and is now known as the Long Neck Inn. The hotel is full of old game farm memorabilia. That's right, folks, you can now stay the night in the birthplace of YouTube sensation, April the Giraffe. So as our video comes to an end, I just want to say thank you to Sydney Blauner, the property owner of Long Neck Inn, for letting me use the property to shoot this video. I'd also like to thank Sean Johnson for being a great host. If you're interested in staying at either the boutique or the Tenter sites, check out these guys on theoldgamefarm.com or see the link in the description of this video. I'd also like to take a minute to thank my beautiful wife Courtney for helping me get the details right in this video. She really went the extra mile with the research. Please like, subscribe, and share to help my little channel grow. We really appreciate your time, guys, and we're going to keep putting out awesome drone content just as often as we can. If there's somewhere specific you want to see, please let me know in the comments. Well, that pretty much concludes today's flight. This is Pilot Ryan, signing off.